everybody. Welcome to On Tap Sports. It's another episode. I decided to put out another one of these. You may notice it looks a little different. It's a live episode, and I got a special guest with me here. If you're watching, you can see him very clearly. Formerly a part of the Diamonds and Hashmarks podcast back when we were doing that, but
That's right.
Peyton is back. Why don't you say hey, introduce yourself? The people have forgotten
The
what
people
you
have
look like,
forgotten,
who
and
you
I'm here to
are.
remind them. All
Yeah.
right. Guys, it's so good to be back. I have missed doing these things. There's a lot that's been happening um these past couple of years that just kind of got in the way of me being able to do stuff like this. So I've been missing it. I got married to my wonderful um girl. We've been married for now 7 months. I picked up a full-time job in ministry work. And yeah, a lot has happened and but excited to be back.
Yeah. Well, the podcast is called On Tap Sports now. As you heard,
That's
we're
right.
available on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. I might actually go ahead and just post the video from this one, so don't do anything like too crazy.
Too heinous.
The
Yeah.
camera is following you. That's some cool tech. Mine stays still. Um, may have to
Okay, sorry.
invest in some of that. So, with this being On Tap Sports, we do things a little differently now. I'm going to ask the question, what's on tap? What are we doing today? Well, we're going to start with some sours, some whiskey sours. Really, just we're going to address some of the elephants in the room. We're doing an MLB playoff episode today. Been looking forward to doing this one a lot. Because
Yeah.
how do I get to talk about being so excited about talking baseball finally on this podcast, and then I don't talk playoffs? So that's what we're doing today,
Right.
talking playoffs. But to get to the playoffs, we have to talk about how the regular season ended for a couple teams, and that's what we're going to start with. And
Yeah.
then we're gonna go to just lights and loggers, your Miller Lights, your Michelob Ultras, your Cervezas, just because it's just bar talk, basically,
Casual.
just talking about
Yes,
the
sir.
playoffs at that point. So,
Hmm.
um, without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it, starting with the sours. Uh, we're gonna talk two teams here real quick that
Yeah.
finished the year on a bit of a rough note. One in the National League, one in the American League.
Hmm.
Peyton, I'll give you a brief rundown of both of them, and then I'll pitch a question to you, and we can kind of go back and forth on it.
Yeah.
But starting with the brief rundown, elephant in the room, the New York Mets. A $339 million payroll. They started the year 45 and 24. I think that was at the June 3rd mark.
It
They
was. Yeah.
had the best record or the second best record
Hmm.
in the National League in baseball, I think, at that point. But to finish the year, they went 35 and 52. Just multiple stretches of losing the most games you could. And when I say that, I mean like they lost 19 of 20. I don't know if that actually happened, but that's what it felt like. Mets fans certainly feel that.
Yeah,
Over the
for
course
sure.
of the year, went 0 and 70 when trailing a game past the eighth inning. So
That's a crazy stat. 0
no
and
fight.
70.
Yeah, it feels
No
like there's
fight in them
just
at all at the
no.
end. Yeah.
Starting pitching was very injury riddled. Kodai Senga
Mhm. Yeah.
has been started the year great, and then he just couldn't figure it out coming back from a hamstring injury around the midpoint of the season. We're talking an all-star level pitcher who had to go to AAA to try to figure
Mm.
it out,
Yeah.
which if you're going to make the playoffs, that can't be your number one guy,
Sounds
right?
like a little bit of a Alek Manoah situation from a couple of years back where when the pitch clock was introduced, just couldn't get conditioned or anything and led to a point where they were like, hey, you got to go figure this out somewhere else, whether it's
Yeah,
Class A, Double A, Triple A, figure it out, kid. And I
yeah.
don't even know where he's at now, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I think he's
to your
still
point.
within the Blue Jays system. He's the highest paid single A baseball player, I think, of all time. You hope that it's different for Kodai
Right.
Senga, that he's able to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, they just, what a miss. They missed.
Yeah.
The Cincinnati Reds take their spot. Not even because the Cincinnati Reds won. You know, the Cincinnati Reds lost as well,
Yeah.
but they held the tiebreaker over the Mets, and the Mets missed the playoffs with a chance to force the Cincinnati Reds into a situation where they had to win by losing 0-4 to the Miami Marlins, which is not the
Mm.
first time that they have lost to the Marlins and been kicked out of the playoffs. It's happened, I think,
Oh,
in 2007, 2008, somewhere in there. I think it happened
wow.
too. But that was when we're talking about the Mets as the fourth team to make it in
Mhm.
the field, back when there was only one wild card team. These days, there are three wild card spots, and the Mets
Yeah.
still missed it with a $339 million payroll. Pete
Mm.
Alonso has already kind of said, yeah, I'm going to exercise my opt out. I'm going to test free
Yeah, he's
agency.
done. Yeah, he doesn't return, I don't think. I
You
think
don't
he just
think?
kind of moves on. I didn't. I've said this even just like when this was formerly known as Diamonds and Hash Marks. I think before, like we were talking about like free agency and signings for him, and my pick was the Brewers. Who knows if that's like still going to be the case? But I know of a team, and we're both wearing the hat for him right now that is in need of some kind of DH or first baseman rather. But I mean,
Hey,
we'll
look,
see. But
I
yes,
said it last year
I
during the
know I said it last
offseason.
year,
I
but it
said
didn't
get
work.
stupid. Get
Get
stupid and
stupid.
sign Pete Alonso. Who knows
That's
what
right.
happens for 1 year, just pulling the ball, ripping the ball over the monster.
Yeah.
Um, look, I love Tristan Cassis. I don't know if he's the guy long term, especially after
Yeah.
that knee injury, but we're not talking about us. We're talking about the Mets. A historic miss, quite honestly.
Very. Yeah.
Now let's talk the American League because I'm setting up a question here. The Detroit Tigers, around that same mark that the Mets had one of the best records in baseball, the Detroit
Mm.
Tigers held a 14 and a half game lead in the AL Central, and it looked over. They were baseball's sweetheart, one of
Yeah.
baseball's best teams. It was them and the Brewers. Tarek Skubal, Riley Green, and company in that offense, it just looked different. And you
Yeah.
thought, okay, this is the year that the Tigers need to be reckoned with. Who knows who wins the West at this point?
Mm.
Got the Astros, Rangers, and Seattle all in the mix. Who knows who wins the East at this point?
Yeah.
Lots of good teams over there, but the Central is done. Except it didn't
It
finish that
wasn't.
way.
Yeah.
The Guardians went through a streak where they won 17 of 19. The
Yep.
Tigers went through two different stretches where they lost 11 of 12, lost 20 of 27, and they squeak in.
Hmm.
They made it. They're the wild card sixth seed. Not the fourth, not the fifth. They're a wild card team, didn't win the division. I don't know how this collapse happened.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think I was paying close enough attention to it. I don't know like the minute details of it. I don't know if
Sure.
I could explain it to you. Heard from a Tigers fan pretty often over the course of the year that the Tigers were done. The bullpen was a mess.
Mm.
I thought, man, you're overselling it. No, I think he was underselling it now
Mm.
with
Yeah.
them just barely squeaking in. So here's the question that we're going to talk about. I think the answer is a little obvious, but which clubhouse would you rather be a part of right now? Which team would
Mm.
you rather be? Would you rather be the New York Mets? You got an owner who's willing to spend the most amount of money ever,
Yeah.
who's done so multiple times, but you're not in the playoffs. Or would you rather be one of these smaller market teams like the Detroit Tigers, collapsing,
Mm.
losing a 14 and a half game lead, but barely squeaking in? Who would you
Yeah.
rather be?
Yes, and while you said the answer is obvious, I am going to pick Detroit here, and I'll tell you both reasons why I'm not picking the Mets and why I'm picking Detroit, and like the maybe like the downfall of maybe picking Detroit here soon, like going into these playoffs. I'm picking Detroit here because I look at the Mets and I'm like, all right, do I want to go through another like kind of rebuild process of everything? If Pete Alonso's out, Pete Alonso's out. We don't have our guy at first. We don't have our three spot, maybe four spot on the lineup. Then we got to go out in the market and find it. And as you said, Cohen is going to be able to find those guys and be able to pay the guys because he's wanting to do it. I think we have seen on multiple occasions him wanting to bring a ship to New York, and he's going to do it by any means. We've seen that like blasted all over Twitter. Like he cares about the Mets in that scenario. But I mean, if you got Alonso leaving, if you still have Lindor, I think you still have a shot. Lindor can put in whatever year he needs to put in. I think he had a solid year this year, especially looking at the beginning of his contract or it was either contract or he got traded to the Mets. It wasn't
Yeah, it
looking the
started
greatest
off
because
shaky for sure.
yeah, it
Yeah, he
started off
put a
real,
really
real
good year
shaky.
together though.
Yeah, they put a really good unit together. Um, Yeah, but I don't know if I want to go through that again. I don't know if I want to. If I were to be in that clubhouse, I would be like, all right, if we're just going to do this again, and it's not going to shape out the way that we want it to be again, and we're going to miss the playoffs by just a couple of games, then I'm not going to want to be a part of that. I picked Detroit because I saw how they were so cohesive and able to get things together last year in the playoffs. Because I remember that was like one of the things I was talking to you about. I was just like, where did this Tigers team come from? You know, I mean, you got Skubal, who was pitching and had a Cy Young Award year this year, but was also doing fantastic more towards the later end of the year, part of the year last year, and he was ready to go. He was fired up. And that in that offense as well, they were doing really well. Riley Green, Torkelson. I'm forgetting a couple names; they're fleeting me, but I'm picking them because I think they have the better squad. It's a younger squad for sure. So there's some experience or less experience there. But yeah, I'll tell you like one of the flaws in picking them though, like if they're kind of squeaking in here and they were 14 and a half games, if they have a 14 and a half game lead in the AL Central and then all of a sudden they're just barely squeaking in and you're going into the postseason where it matters and you're not doing well and you're on losing streaks, then that's a kind of attitude in the clubhouse where it's just like, okay, we'll kind of make it up as we go and we'll see what
Yeah.
happens.
Yeah. How does it
So,
not weigh on you? If you're a
right.
member of the Detroit Tigers and you come in, like, you got to think that AJ Hinch, the only thing he's doing right now is preaching to his guys. Guys, we're 0-0. It doesn't matter. We're here. We made
Yeah.
it.
Right.
We get
Yeah.
to determine our destiny from here. Yeah. I mean, at least if I were a Tigers fan, if I were actually playing baseball for the Tigers, that's what I would want to hear from my coach. I need
Yeah.
somebody to say it to me other than myself.
Yeah. I need
But
someone to
if
instill confidence for sure. Yeah.
yeah. Now I will say your whole point about the New York Mets does make sense. It makes sense. Why you're not picking them. Obviously, I'm not picking them either. I'm picking Detroit because Detroit made it.
Right.
It's kind of an easy conversation in that sense. But the only thing I'm going to say about the New York Mets that makes it intriguing is we had this entire conversation about them, and neither of us mentioned the name Juan Soto.
Right. I know.
Neither of us brought it up. Look, he had a great year. It's not like
Yeah.
he had a bad year. I mean, his batting average isn't blow you away crazy. I think he hit 245 on the year. Might be misquoting that.
Mm,
Don't come after me, please. Like, I know his
I got you.
OBP and his slug is ridiculous. He's a
I
walk
got you. I
savant.
got
He
you.
knows his zone.
Hmm.
Um, but that's intriguing. Juan Soto, a part of that $339 million payroll, like they made an exception to the rule of the collective bargaining tax. Yet again,
Yeah.
Steve Cohen did to go out and get this guy that was going to put them over the hump. Then their starting
Mm,
pitching had a great start. They
mm,
tore it up. I mean, we're not talking like Sean Manaea because he was hurt. We're talking guys like Griffin Canning. Kodai Senga, not necessarily guys that when I say the name blows you away, and if you're the opponent, you're like, dang, we're gonna have to fight for one tonight. But that's who they
right.
were. That's how they
Yeah.
started.
No, yeah.
0-70 when trailing from the eighth inning on. You question the offense. You have to.
Yeah, and I'll give you this: the last two games when they were at Miami, and they were shut out in both games. He did not get a single hit, for that matter. So
Yeah.
the final two games of the season, you got to put something on the line at least. He got three walks, so he's getting on base, but need more production, out of him, especially if you're paying him that much. But to answer your question, he was averaging 263, 43 homers,
Okay.
105 ribby.
I was
Um,
only 0.02 average
yeah.
points off. I had it within
So a
point zero
solid
0.02.
year, but I
Yeah.
mean, you got to have more production in the last game of the series to maybe make a push for what's going on. But hey, hats off to the Reds,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, and I mean, what another thing that I think is crazy. Like, yes, deservedly so. Hats off to the Reds. They put the year together necessary to make the playoffs, but they didn't blow anybody away. Ellie De La Cruz didn't get hot one time this year, right? We
Nope.
never woke up at any point during this year, rolled over, opened up X, and said, Ellie De La Cruz hit for the cycle, like he did that last year, or Ellie De La
Right.
Cruz tore it up again, or like yeah, he did steal home, I think this year against the Milwaukee Brewers, and that in its own right is impressive.
Yeah,
But
didn't he
but
steal like second, third, and then home or something like that? But
yeah,
anyway,
but that was like the second or third week of the season, and
yeah.
then the Cincinnati Reds overcame the obstacle of a $339 million payroll by averaging 500.
Mm,
The Reds' record is not impressive.
no, it's
They're
not.
in it, and that's impressive enough in its own right. You made the playoffs, but maybe not but, and it's
Mhm.
an expanded field. It
Yeah.
it it was designed so that a team who maybe finished the year 500 but got hot right at the end of the year could make it. And that's who
Mm,
made it, the Cincinnati Reds. Over in the
right.
American League, it's a different story. The
Mm,
American League, we're getting powerhouses in the sixth seed, the Detroit Tigers. Did they have a great year? Yes, they had one of the best up to one point in the year. Was there
yeah.
also a great collapse? Yes,
Right.
they were able to squeak in. But your five seed and your four seed in the American League are the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, not the same. It's
Hmm.
different, clearly.
Right.
All right,
Clearly.
those are your sours.
Hmm.
Let's do lights and loggers. Let's just banter here,
Yeah.
bar room talk. You look at the bracket.
Yeah.
You got the picture of the bracket and the rundown. What's the
Yeah.
most intriguing part of the bracket? Because we got the four corners, right?
Yeah.
Where you see its own section. You got four different sections. If you were to pick a section where you're like, man,
Mm.
I'm not missing a game, which section intrigues you the most?
Yeah, man, that's a great question. I mean, I'm a little biased in saying this for one aspect, but I'll go into another one that I'm really excited about watching as well. I mean that Red Sox Yankees, right? The rivalry
The
in the
American
postseason,
League East Tournament.
the American League East Tournament,
That's what it
because then
is.
after that, whoever wins that series, hopefully the Red Sox, is facing the Blue Jays, another AL East team. So like you're going two rounds where you're having just AL East tournament until the ALCS. So I'm really excited to see that rivalry in swing. We have a couple of people that are a couple of guys that are injured, Giolito, Roman Anthony, Myers out for the year. So young guys, well, maybe not Giolito, but really, really excited to see that series. That should be a really fun one. And I love that the wild card games are now 3 game series. But I also loved it when they were 1 game series. It's like it is all on the line. It is game 7. You have to win this game or you're not in the playoffs. But I do like what they added and like kind of diversifying the bracket a little bit to give it those 3 games. But we've been talking about it this whole time. The Detroit Tigers and that Cleveland series. I am really looking forward to that series. It was maybe even last year where I was kind of like tuning in on the Guardians. Well, didn't they played last year? No?
Yes,
Together.
they did.
Okay, yeah,
They
yeah.
were in it.
I was watching that series and I had just a bunch of fun watching that series. I think David Fry was popping off and um
It's
no
guys that you
Noel.
don't, yeah, it's guys that you don't see over the course of the rest of the year, but you see because the light gets bright, but they play
Yeah,
for a mid-market team, a low-market team, and then now you know who these guys are. Like I know who
right.
Rocchio is because of the playoffs last year, and he plays for the Guardians.
Yeah.
Joe Kenzie Noel, Big Christmas. I know who he is because of the playoffs last year.
Right. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, really looking forward to that series. And I know that Cleveland gets bumping every time that they have anything like any postseason of that nature
Smallest
in
MLB
all the
stadium,
sports.
by
Smallest
the
MLB
way.
stadium. But and then you go back into I've been seeing it like all over the place of when Lindor was still with the Guardians, formerly known as the Indians at the time, when they were facing the Yankees and he hits that grand slam and Vasgersian just goes crazy. That's the atmosphere that it can get towards. So, I mean, I want to see that. Like that's what you watch the postseason for, the atmosphere and the environment and things changing. Plays start to matter, walks start to matter, errors start to
Yeah.
matter.
A walk is
So,
a rally at this point.
yeah, really, it is. So, I'm really excited to see that series. That'll be fun. And then whoever plays that, they face the AL West champions, the Mariners, the year that they had. I mean, Cal Raleigh popping off at MVP season. We'll see who the MVP is at the
Hot
end of the
button
year.
topic. Careful there. Someone's
I
gonna
know,
tweet
I
your
know. Someone's
address
gonna
if you.
tweet it. I'll embrace it. But um, it's gonna be close. Judge had a heck of a year. Cal had a heck of a year for being a catcher, hitting 60 home runs as a switch hitter. That hasn't been done, or it just hasn't been done. He's setting the record as we speak, or it has. Yeah, as we're now looking at the postseason. So, but I'm really excited to see that series. That should be fun.
Yeah. I'll agree with you. As
Mm,
I answer the question now, bias because obviously I'm invested. I'm wearing the hat, the spring training hat, a
yeah,
Fanatics hat of the team that I'm rooting for, Boston Red Sox. It's the American League East tournament. It's hard not to think that the Yankees are winning this just because it's their home field. And we
yeah,
got to
yeah,
go
yeah.
in there and take it from them. As you mentioned, we're recording on a Monday, releasing this tomorrow on a Tuesday. But at this point, we already know Giolito's out, Bregman's sick. I know that Roman Anthony is down in Fort Myers as we speak, rehabbing. So if we make it to the ALCS, there's a chance we get to see him again. Huge pickup. You talk about a deadline acquisition. I'll raise you and say championship series acquisition is if
Mm,
Roman Anthony's able to come back. But we have to stay alive until then.
got to stay alive. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
But interested in it. I think anytime the Yankees play the Red Sox, it should be mandated by Rob Manfred that the game is aired on Fox with Joe Buck calling it. That would be
Yeah,
the
too bad he switched
perfect.
over to ESPN with Aikman.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but ESPN is carrying the game, so they got a shot. If
Mm,
you make Joe Buck call it, fly him out there. I don't care who you put in the booth next to him.
yeah,
It could be John Smoltz for all I care. I
for all
mean,
I care.
if John Smoltz is calling it, of course, we're going to listen to inning after inning after inning of complaining that guys are throwing very hard because that's all John
Yeah,
Smoltz does.
yeah,
But that's not the. I'm not ranting. I'm not
yeah. You're not.
ranting.
You're not
I'm
ranting.
just
It's okay.
talking about the
You
most
just
intriguing part of the bracket because of my
this
bias.
is bar talk. This is bar talk.
Yeah, well, in that case, I can rant. No, I'm not going to do that. But like you did, I'm going to pick another part of the bracket that's intriguing to me. It's actually not going to be the same one that you pick. I'm looking at that top right portion where the
Yeah.
Reds are playing the Dodgers, and the winner of that gets the Phillies. The Phillies put together a great year. They won the NL East. They've kind of been the team that everyone has been chasing for a
Schwaba.
while over there in the National League, right next to the Brewers. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's been chasing those top two teams, and this is you're looking at the fruit of the season that they put together, and they put together a great year.
Yeah, they did. Really did.
The Reds are going into Los Angeles best of three. Do I think the Reds are winning this? No. But if you land the right hit against Mike Tyson, you got a shot. And I think they
Yeah.
have a puncher's chance. That's what Mark DeRosa said on MLB Network this morning. Do I think they're winning it? No, but I think they have a puncher's chance. You're walking
Mm.
in there with Ellie De La Cruz. Who knows what he does when the lights are the brightest? Terry Francona is managing this team. Chase Burns, I don't know if he's starting or coming out of the pen, but he's going to throw at least triple digits.
Yeah.
This is a Dodgers team that had great expectations for this season. Did they live up to it? Not even close. I said multiple times before the season started, if there were a roster that existed that could set the record for most wins in a single season, it would be the Dodgers. They didn't do
Yeah.
it this year. Lots of injuries, too many injuries.
Yeah.
But that
That's
part of
right.
the bracket is intriguing to me.
Yeah. And
I'm
we'll see what
interested.
happens with the Cubs over there. I mean, with PCA having a second half of the season, we were talking about maybe first half of the season that he was going to be an MVP.
Yeah,
Where's
that's
that
true.
talk gone? So, I mean, we'll see what happens. The same as your Ellie De La Cruz talk for the Reds. If we see PCA all of a sudden make a surge, we know why. The lights are brightest.
Yeah. All right. Next question. This
Yeah.
little bar room talk. Your round one winners. I want you to go round or not round by round, but series by series. Who do you
Okay.
have winning these first round games?
So first round of games, meaning the wild card,
Yeah,
or
just the wild card series.
okay,
That's all I
yeah,
want
yeah.
you to pick.
All right. Give me. Oof. All right. Give me the Tigers and give me the Sox in the AL. Give me the Dodgers and the Cubs in the NL.
Wow. Okay.
Hmm.
Uh, let's see. I will go Cleveland. in that series just because I think Cleveland kind of owned them over the course of this year. Stephen Vogt has a lifetime contract to coach as long as he wants over there in Cleveland, and I have a hard time picking against them. Yeah, they get
Yeah,
Scooble, uh, but that's kind of been the story of the year. They can win with Scooble's pitching, but other than that, who knows? It's kind of up in the air.
yeah.
I'm gonna take the Sox because I have to, for my own mental. It's got to be them. The year that they put together, starting the way that they did with the injuries to Bregman and Casas, it was looking rough. Crochet has kind of been the mainstay all year, and I
255 strikeouts.
I hope it continues. You
Come
talk
on.
American League, Cy Young, Scooble, or Crochet. I'm giving it to Crochet. One of them,
Mm,
they're both outright dominant,
yeah, they are.
but Crochet
Left-handers
is
too.
a
That's
warrior.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scooble has fun competing. I don't know if Crochet has fun competing because
Mm.
he looks like he hates whoever he's pitching against. Like last
Yeah.
time he was pitching in New York against New York in a primetime sort of game. Yeah, he knew that his day was done. He struck out the last batter and he was laughing as he was walking off the mound. And that's the kind of psycho mentality I want going in there for a playoff start.
Yeah.
So, gonna take the Red Sox to win that one. Over there in the top right, I know I just said that the Cincinnati Reds had a puncher's chance, but I'm not too confident in them. Taking the Dodgers to win that one.
Yeah.
Man, that last one's tough. That last
Yeah.
one is tough.
Yeah.
Padres.
Yeah.
Taking the
Okay.
Padres.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Looking at the bracket in total, what is your best World Series matchup?
My best World Series matchup. Hmm. Um, man, I would say if that Phillies team can get strong and if they can get hot, that would be fun to see them in the World Series again. I know that they played in the World Series when they were facing Houston. They kind of made a fight, but Houston then was the better team. I forget what year that was. It might have been 2022, 2023. Um, but yeah,
Sorry, I
I
had to
think if
sneeze. My
no, you're
goodness,
good.
that
You're
was
good.
ridiculous. That's the
Um,
hardest I've ever sneezed in my life. It had to have been. All
Yeah.
right, go ahead.
But yeah, I think if Phillies make it and if they can get to the World Series, it's great on the NL side. AL side, um man, like gosh, if the Red Sox can pull it off, that's great. I would want that. If it's Phillies Red Sox in World Series, that's great. If it's not the Red Sox because it is biased, I would say um gosh, if Guardians even make a push here and you have Guardians Phils in the World Series, that's a fun watch. You're in Philly and in Cleveland and they're going to go hard in the paint. So, yeah. I mean, I know I picked the Tigers, but I mean that series is going to be fun to watch for me. So yeah, we'll say Cleveland and Phillies.
All right. Yeah, I think that's fair. I'm also picking Philly just because the environment is so fun to watch on TV. You know that
At Citizens Bank, yeah,
you
it's
said
awesome.
the Guardians fans go hard in the paint. I think that the Phillies fans all turn into Shaq or Joel Embiid
Mm,
in the paint. Looking forward to watching those here pretty soon. Whoever they wind up playing against, whether it be the Dodgers or the Reds. I'm also gonna say Red Sox because bias. If not them, then I want it to be an East Coast team. So just anybody but Seattle. If
anybody
Seattle
but
snakes
Seattle.
its way in, they're gonna adjust the start time of some of these games to like 8 p.m. And that's
Yeah,
not what I want. Give me a 7 o'clock start. I'm old. Give me a 6 o'clock start
yeah,
around the
I'm with
time that
you.
I'm getting
I'm
home,
with you.
right? So my dream World Series matchup would be Red Sox Phillies, Red Sox Brewers, because either you're getting a fantastic environment in Citizens Bank or you're getting the best team out of the National League in the Brewers.
Yeah,
My
that's right.
worst possible matchup here, I'll go first, is Cleveland versus Cincinnati. I cannot have an Ohio World Series. That would be the worst case scenario for me. That would be the worst case scenario for baseball. Two very
Yeah,
small markets going at it, and they're both in Ohio. It can't always
yeah.
be Ohio.
Can't always be Ohio. Yeah, that's fair, man. That's fair. And I mean, I think I can see like kind of have 50-50 halfway on just like Cleveland like making a push and eventually making it to the World Series. But like very slim odds if the Reds actually do make it all the way past there. But I mean, hey, we've seen it done in the past with the Rangers and the Diamondbacks. The 2 years ago, 1 year ago,
Yeah,
I can't even remember
2023.
now.
You get hot at the right time, all of a sudden you're in it.
All of a sudden things change, man. So, yeah, man, my worst would probably be
I dare you to beat
Cincinnati.
the Ohio World Series.
Yeah, Ohio World Series, but I'll do one better. I'll still have Cincinnati, but the Yankees, I think too. I mean, I that might be the smallest amount of viewership
Yeah, I agree.
ever.
They would have the New
Um,
York poll, but nobody else would be watching because it's
right,
Ohio.
because they're like, okay, the Yankees are better than the Reds. Yankees are probably going to win this series. If we know that going into it, I'm probably not going to watch it, but I
Yeah.
probably will watch it anyway. It's playoff baseball. But that would be my worst one. It would be Yankees Reds.
Yeah. Well, here, let me throw this question at you. If you had
Yeah.
the Cleveland Guardians and the Cincinnati Reds in the World Series playing against each other, would you watch? Are you tuning into game one?
Yeah. I would. I would watch because I love watching the underdog. You know,
Okay.
I love watching the underdog. I may not give it my full attention, but I'll be like, hey, if the Reds can somehow make it work and make it happen, and they're like 2 games ahead in the series or whatever, I'll be like, yeah, you're worth my time. You're making a push. It's the underdog, because you always want to see the underdog win. So yeah, I
I
think
would
that's I think
not.
that's what I'd do. You
I'm
would not.
not.
Okay, yeah,
No. If
you're just
it's the
out.
Ohio World Series, no shot.
No shot.
I'll watch the Great British Baking Show. That's what I'll do with my October. Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. Man, I'm getting old, a little senile in my old age too, saying I'm not going to watch baseball.
Wow. Yeah.
Kind of crazy. All right.
Hmm.
Well, that's going to do it for us here on Tap Sports. Once again, I'm Alex Pichardo. Had a special guest. Peyton, it was great having you on.
Yeah, man. It really was. It was
Yep.
really, really fun.
Yeah. Hopefully, we'll be able to do it again
Yeah, here
shortly.
soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Things are starting to open up a little bit more, so I would love to come back on. Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun.
All right. Well, as I said, that's going to do it for us. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, doing all the things that you can to boost the show on your end, and I will keep doing my best to put out episodes. We'll see if that actually happens, though, just because life's busy and I get to an episode when I get to an episode. So
That's right.
we'll see you.
See ya.